Hey, Mache, how are you?
Hey, Avi, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear.
I can't hear you. Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I can hear you too.
All right, there we go. How you doing? It's been a while.
I know. Good morning.
Morning, good morning, and good evening to you.
Thank you.
No, where have you been? Not trading
Uh,
much?
I've been kind of a lonely wolf. After your classes, I did Megan for a month or so. So I got some, supply demand level schooling and stuff like that. And so I'm still part of the group, part of the variable bull traders. But this is it, I just watch my stocks with them in the morning and I know what to do.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not that easy, obviously. I, I, it's 2 years now, right? So I lost 35%, but I am not losing anymore. I'm kind of, I have green days. My biggest green day would be like 1 hour, which I'm happy with. So I don't ever have more than 1 hour.
Mm. Okay. All right. We'll have to figure that one out.
So how about you? What's happening with you?
All good. Just doing the same thing, just trading and mentoring, really. Just staying focused on simple things, doing it right. Not much else. So, yeah. And doing a lot of live trading, of course. So you
You
gotta show up
still
to the live trading. It's fun.
you still enjoy the it's kind of I know you've been it was kind of boring for you, so you were doing this and that just to entertain yourself. Like I remember it was a coin toss for you, some random. But so the future has been kind of a new for you too, though, right?
Yeah, so my trading has evolved and evolved only because of problems that popped up. So for now, I'm looking at the futures market, and that's the last 2 or 3 months, I think. And it solves a lot of the problems that options has. Options, one of the biggest problems I had was liquidity. It just couldn't get filled, basically, for the sizes I was trying to put on. With futures, that's not a problem. And also, I was doing zero DTE options for liquidity, but then those options have time decay issues. And with the futures, you don't have that problem either. And futures is interesting. It opens up a different opportunity where the market is open 23 hours of the day. So you really can plan for bigger moves, slower moves, longer time frame setups, and really just trade on a bigger time frame and allow it to run for however long it needs to go to get to the target. Sometimes it gets there in an hour. Sometimes it takes 10 or 12 or 15 hours. You just leave it. So there's a lot of good stuff for the futures market. So that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at it, and yeah, I like it so far. It's great. It solves a lot of those problems that I was facing with the options. I went as far as I could with options. Eventually you do hit a wall, and the wall was liquidity was the first real big issue.
Yeah, I remember the SPY was like the only place where you could really find the liquidity, right?
Yeah, and even that became a problem. There just wasn't enough consistently enough for the way I was doing things. So, and also again with the time decay, it becomes difficult. You really got to actively manage your trades. With futures, you don't have to worry about time decay. So I'm much less active with the futures trades. It's mostly automated, really. I just put it on and leave it. It goes to break even and then it goes to a target. That's about it.
So you still but can implement stops the way you could have done with equities and stuff.
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing.
Manage your risk. Risk management is always the same thing. That's the first most important thing.
Cool.
Off you go.
Well, I'm excited. I can tell that you would not say those words if it wasn't something that was bringing you joy, but also you making money. So
Well, yeah, for sure, man. Gotta get you back in the game. Gotta get your head back in the game.
All right, so my story is like I got slapped with my maintenance payments to my ex-wife, which will deplete my account to, I would say, around 15K.
Okay.
So can I do anything with that money?
Yeah. You play with the futures market. It's what's great is you don't need to comply with the PDT rule with the futures
Right.
market. You don't need the $25,000 minimum. Uh, and again, like I said, I find it less risky. Of course, it is a leveraged product, futures, so you gotta be very careful with leverage. So again, that comes down to putting on small size to begin with to get a hang of it, and then of course using stops, making sure you do stop out when you need to. Once you got those two things under control, your winners get quite big once you let them run. So, but to answer your question, yeah, can you trade with that kind of money? Yeah, for sure, no problem at all. I traded in December. I did a bit of an experiment. I went in one day with a $2,000 account, and on that, I made about $1,500, something like that.
How much?
About 1,500.
Okay,
Like
so you almost doubled your
yeah,
account.
and I took what, 2 stop outs, I think, and then had one winner, something like that. So that's it's very much doable. We don't have these kinds of problems that you do with equities and options. And so yeah, it's very effective. You can make money without having to put too much capital on the line, and that's what I like about these leverage products. Capital efficiency. That's why I got into it in the first place. But of course, leverage, you got to be careful, as in don't oversize it. It's very easy to click the button too many times and get too much size without realizing how much you really put on. When you get excited in the moment, you hit the button a few times. That's a problem. So once you get the hang of that, of putting on the right kind of size with the stop in place, and don't move your stop, just leave it, then everything else will be fine. Then you covered the dangerous side of leverage. Other than that, you want to let it run to your target, because really leverage is it's amazing once you see it go to the targets. P&L, it doesn't just like add up because it's a leverage product. It's like it multiplies. It gets massively larger. And it's kind of hard to fathom those numbers until you see a couple of good winners, and then you realize, oh crap, you really don't need much money to make a lot of money. You just got to be smart about it.
A lot of traders nowadays use the algos and stuff. They're very smart too, and I think we'll have to transition to that with the algos and AI and stuff, right? There will be like there's fun in the half an hour of the market, but that's it. Just it's fun, right? It's not the future. The future is in understanding how to make money without sitting and looking at the screen all day.
Yeah, you know what? I get it that there's fun to be had when there's volatility right at the open, but there's not a lot of money to be made. I used to trade that, as you know, trading the open. I don't anymore. I basically avoid it most of the time. Yesterday, there was a setup, I think 10 minutes before the open. And other than that, I didn't really see a setup through the open. But then there were setups about 6 hours before the open, something like that.
When, Friday or
yesterday? Monday. For you today, Monday.
What stock? Tesla?
No, I'm looking at futures. I was looking at the MNQ and the ES. This is basically the Qs and the S&P 500, Nasdaq and the S&P. And so with these setups, like I said, you can put them on and then leave them for hours and hours and ignore the open. If you really want to make money, you ignore the open. That's been my experience. So, the thing about the open is it's exciting, it moves fast, but because of that volatility, it becomes difficult to manage risk. You got to put on a wide stop, which allows only a small size. And then RVR becomes difficult. So you really got to have a higher win rate. And that's when people get stuck with moving their stops out of the way and then hoping it'll go in their favor. All that stuff starts to happen when you get overstimulated and basically overexcited. If you want excitement, go to Las Vegas. Just don't trade the open.
Yeah, you were the one who told me like the human eye cannot catch up with the first 5 minutes. It's just no way. It's just too fast.
Yeah, for most people, yeah, exactly.
So
It's tricky. I say avoid it, and what's again another thing I'll tell you, like you are in a time zone, you're 12 hours different from me. For you, it's 7:30 p.m. For me, it's 7:30 a.m.
Right.
But the futures market, we can just trade it at the same time. Right now, we can put on a trade. Right now, I can put on a trade. No big deal, for example. And you're not bothered about, waiting for the open, and then you're all anxious for an hour before the open. You wake up and you do all these elaborate yoga routines and whatever, and you're all excited.
Meditation.
Yeah, you do a lot of stuff. Everyone does this and gets all over anxious before the market even opens. It's like you've lost 10 trades already in your head. It's it's,
It's so true.
all that happens with the open. People get overexcited. We know all about the buzz on the internet. Everyone's hyping up, hey, trade the open and all that stuff. It's a lot of garbage.
Reminds me of what you introduced me to the 80-20 thing, right? Formula that you could make a lot of money just spending less amount of time, right?
Yeah. The real trick is, well, I guess the real symptom is, if it's really boring, then you're probably going to make a lot of money. If you're going in when it's exciting, then it's a signal that you're probably doing the wrong thing. For most people, that's how it works. There are some people who truly can trade the open, but even then, you need to put down massive amounts of capital just to make a tiny amount, and that's not feasible for most people. And then also, these are these hyperactive kind of personalities that need that action and can't sit still for even 10 seconds. It's for those kinds of personalities. So, and even if you have all that, still, I don't see that you can make a lot of money doing the open. I did it for years. I made much more with much less since I started trading other things, moving away from the open, bigger time frames, different products, all that stuff.
Yeah, I remember your option trades. You had really big winners there. I mean, you had some hits too. When you had a hit, it would be painful, but then you would come back still. So, okay, I did read some stuff about futures. I kind of know the e-minis and stuff, right? There's only certain amount of stocks that you can do futures with, right?
Yeah, there's basically the indexes and commodities, and it's plenty. I mean, I see setups almost every day, 2 or 3 of them even. So you don't need.
So I've been momentum trader since I met you. I do this 1 minute ORB. That's my thing, and then I transitioned to 5 minute, and then I kind of transitioned to 30 minute. And with time, but usually no longer than an hour and a half. Would this setup play a role in futures, or I'll have to learn some other setups?
No, you can work with that. That's just fine. Yesterday we saw an ORB, I think a 5 minute setup going down, and then another one going up on the S&P. I think there was a 30-minute ORB or something. And no, it'll be fine. You can work with it. Just remember, futures have a lot of leverage. So put a lot less capital at your disposal, at your fingertips, when you're getting into this. Go simulator, of course.
Right. It's something that you have to teach me, I guess. I have Schwab. Can you do futures in Schwab?
I'm sure you can. But here's what I do. I use Ninja Trader for futures. So it's not difficult. You can just open up an account there. And the reason for that is that capital efficiency, the margins that they allow, is very efficient. You only need a little bit of capital to really get moving.
Ninjas, do they charge for commissions or no? Are there charges for commissions in the futures?
There are, yeah, there are charges, and they have different tiers and stuff. But it's a lot more efficient than options. The commissions I was paying was ridiculous with options, and now I hardly even notice the commissions. So don't worry too much about that. What's more important is with Ninja, as a broker, they give you a lot of margin. So you get a lot of leverage. You need to only put a tiny amount of cash down there to be able to capitalize your account. And they have the charting software as well, and with the hot buttons and everything. It's very simple.
So you don't use DAS anymore?
I completely stopped using DAS. I have no need for it.
Thank God. I hate paying them so much money every month.
Yeah. Yeah. So unless you really are using their, what their strengths are, which is really fast executions right at the open, creating that volatility and basically being a degenerate, and then go ahead, use DAS.
Yeah, call it by its name. I like it.
Yeah. Yep, that's what it is. So no, there's no need for DAS. If you're gonna do this, if you're gonna trade slower, longer time frames, you can even just trade on TradingView with a basic subscription because you don't need all that speed and stuff. What you need is more of automated trade management where you wait for the setup, you're able to put on the trade, put on the risk, put on these targets, and then have the software basically move your stop in towards break even or trail the price until it gets to a target. These are very easy to set up on TradingView and NinjaTrader. I'm using it on NinjaTrader. It's very easy. It's much simpler than DAS in that sense. You don't need all the speed and stuff. It's unnecessary.
Okay. Cool. I'm in. I mean, you know me. You've known me for, sometimes you talk to someone for an hour and you know everything about them. Like, you know that I've been that guy who was very aggressive and impulsive with trading, So I think this would be a good thing for me to slow down and become. This is kind of like this is how you become a real trader.
Yeah. This is really that's the right way to say it. This is how you become a real trader. You start making real money. It really starts to make sense. And making money off of trading, as in you're beating the market, you're putting down little capital, you're making, you're able to multiply your account without too much, pushing and shoving and getting overexcited, getting into these massive moves. So to get going, we have our YouTube channel now where all our recordings, I've put it up on YouTube. So in there, we had a webinar recently about futures. It's in it's in the webinar playlist. So take a look at that. That's a really good intro to futures. One of our guys, Tarek, did that webinar. He's very experienced with futures.
What is it under your?
Yeah, it's Aviators. Here, let me find the link.
Are you still part of Bear and Bull Traders?
No, I moved on from that.
Yeah,
it's time to go and become a real trader.
Yeah, can we talk at some point about that, because it's a money pit, it's I've lost a lot of capital.
Yeah, go ahead, Tarek. It's all yours.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone.
What's going on here? I got.
It's me.
Okay, yeah, that's you. Okay, sorry, that was me. Okay, yeah, that's the link I sent you. So that's the webinar. That's a good, really good intro to futures, what it's all about, how to think about it. And once you watch that, start exploring it. Of course, I recommend also NinjaTrader's YouTube channel. That's where I learned about it. Very simple about what futures contracts are, how they work, how to use their platform. Very simple stuff. And then, of course, join us for all our live in-person sessions. We have our live sessions where I trade live, as well as now the year started, going to put a different schedule in place, going to have different Q&A sessions and various things where a lot of people are in our group talking about futures and figuring it out in the same place you are, basically. So it's a good thing to do. Just show up live whenever we're live, and you get the hang of it, basically.
And how can I meet with you for like a setup, hotkeys and other things?
Yeah, whenever you want, man. Whenever you want. I think get through this first.
Okay.
And start showing up live and getting a feel for it, and start interacting with the community. What is previously, a couple of years ago, it was all just one-on-one time that we were doing. But now I've put this community together. So we're actually having a lot of excellent discussions. There's a lot of experienced people in here. A lot of people in here have been doing futures a lot longer than I have, so they know much more about it than I do. So get into the conversations, into the live sessions. That's where the magic really happens. Once you get moving a little bit with this, then sure, we'll just get on a one-on-one call whenever you need.
Okay.
Not a big deal, just like this.
The live still happens around the open?
Yeah, still doing it around the open. I'm putting one or two other things together at the moment to also do it at different times, which for you will be a good time in the Western time zone, Pacific time zone. Most likely about 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. your time, something like this.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm putting those few things together. But yeah, just get going with these few things to begin with. Start wrapping your head around it. You can even get active in the chat here. We have our question and answers channels. We have the forums, all kinds of stuff now. So everything's available. And yeah, of course, happy to get on one-on-one time anytime you want.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, Avi. This is great. Thank you.
Sure, no problem.
It's a journey, man, and I thank you for leaving the door open. And it's harder than I thought.
Most things in this world are, and don't worry about it. People say trading is really hard and impossible, high attrition rate and all that, but the truth is, I don't know any business out there where you can make millions and millions of dollars every year. That's easy. I haven't come across that yet. So it's no different than starting up a business and all that. It's really no different. It's just as equally hard.
All right, I'm excited.
Yeah, no, cool, man. Cool. You got this. You know what to do, and of course, reach out anytime. I'm always here. Yeah. No
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Cool. Alrighty then. It's good catching up with you again. It's been a while. Take care.
I know. I'm excited, Avi. Thank you.
Sure. You're welcome. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.